In any sane society, it's only normal that conflicts may arise. And when it comes to the government and the governed, it's something that's not far between, especially when security agents are made to enforce discipline. But in recent time in the country, such conflicts seem to have a total reoccurrence, with sometimes dangerous consequence like that of the end SARS that happened some few years back. That also, ironically, started here in Ughelli. But what needs to be done to reduce such conflict? What mechanism should be put in place to manage it before it snowballs into a major conflict? Well, a look at this and more is what this edition is all about, with even the recent protests in Ughelli on account of such. And that's what we're having as a major discourse today on The Big Story. We're talking about police and citizens' relationship and the mechanism for conflict resolution. That's what we're looking at today on the show. We're looking at, well, it's always that breakdown between relationship between the police and Nigerians or citizens. But the big question is, what are those mechanisms to help resolve such conflict so it does not snowball into a major crisis like we had a few years back that erupted all around the country? We're talking about the end SARS. That's what we're going to look at today on The Big Story. And indeed, to help us look at this is somebody that seems to always be in the middle as it concerns trying to resolve such. And we're talking about activists, and no other one but activist Israel Joe will be helping us with the discussion. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mike. Thank you for having me this morning.
Well, anyway, it's one that many feel there should be that channel of discourse, channel of resolution, channel of trying to see how things can be truly ironed out between security agencies and the people they are made to guide. And we're talking about the citizens. But I want us to first establish the fact, is it normal for such conflict to arise between the citizens and security agencies, like the police? And why I ask this question, this is not only attributed to Nigeria. If you remember, after the death of Floyd Mayweather in the United States and the Black Lives Matters slogan and all that played out, many will say it's not a thing that is only attributed to Nigeria and the security agency. So let's establish that fact. Is it a normal thing to get such conflict between the citizens and the police?
Yes, I think that basically society is always in a flux.
Okay.
We are always in a state of conflicts. Conflicts arise from one reason to the other. Okay. Even in the animal world, there are always conflicts. Yeah. So conflicts arise, but majorly, when we talk about conflict between the citizens and the police, it always has to do with the image that the security forces have put forward over the years.
Okay.
What's the terms for relating with the citizens? What are the dynamics of relationship these security forces are having with the citizen? If the forces of relationship, the factors that built this relationship has to do with the factors of oppression, intimidation, over-detention, extortion, and brutality, there is always conflict that will arise from that perspective. So the point of view for which this conflict arises with security agencies sometimes has to do with the image for which the citizens see the police. Okay. That, for instance, when the police stop a particular vehicle for search or something, there is this first opinion that comes to mind that the police wants to oppress us.
Okay.
They are looking for a way to extort us.
Okay.
They are cynical. That means they are fault finders. They are looking for a fault. So even when the police demand for vehicular papers, the first thing that comes to mind that they want to search for a fault.
Okay, so let me truly understand it. So you feel it's a build-up of mistrust over the years?
Of course, the image that the police have, the security forces have put forth over the years sometimes degenerate into skepticism. The citizens doubt the ability for the police to be transparent in their operations.
Okay.
So it brings about conflict, it brings about social conflict, it brings about even political conflict, it brings about differences in society on how the police handles the different classes of people in society, both the bourgeois and the proletariat.
Okay, now let's look at it, because let's make it more of a wider scope, rather than putting all the blame on the table of the law enforcement agencies. Now, there's this belief that while we're constantly, and I'll put constantly as a team, while we're constantly having these issues, is that there's this great misunderstanding Nigerians will naturally have for law enforcement agencies. And just like you said, well, on the part of the police, many will say they also abuse this power. And hence, this is also a factor. So do you feel is more of lack of understanding of what the security agencies should normally do as citizens, or do you feel is the abuse of power of the law enforcement agents, or do you feel it's a combination of not understanding these people and the abuse of power? Let's really understand the dynamic, why this total breakdown of trust between both sides.
Some certain factors guide the operations of both the citizens and the police.
On how to relate.
On how to affect,
yes.
their relationship, with regards to the communication between the citizens and the police. For instance, we have gotten a security force that allegedly do not have passion for their job. We are building up somewhere. The passion they should have to guide the citizen is not there.
Okay.
The motivation they should have to protect the lives of the civil, the citizens are not there. Those motivations are also the motivations that guides the relation of the citizens and the security forces. For instance, we have gotten a whole lot of factors that has to do with poverty, hunger in the society. Now, the unemployment is also a factor. Now, these variables put on the table, there is unemployment, there is hunger, there is poverty. Somebody has graduated from school. The next available job is police. The person is joining the police, not because, in quote, the person has a passion for security now, but because
as an alternative to run away from hunger.
On the table. As an alternative to run away from unemployment and poverty, the person joins the police, maybe for constabulary, corporal, or recruit and something. Now, the whole idea for the person joining the police, we are trying to establish it, is to run away from unemployment. The person becomes a police officer. The objective is not motivated to deliver on the mandate of his job. Is to get economic relief, have a good life, send the children to good school, back to the society. There is also unemployment and poverty rocking the society, for which the poverty has pushed
some
the boys now into doing Yahoo, the girls into doing prostitution, the boys into doing sporting bet and those things. Now, these variables are meeting. A Yahoo boy is running away from poverty. Internet fraudster running away from poverty is meeting an average security force agent running also for poverty. They now meet, and this person wants to use his own power to get from this person all into illegal objectives. So the whole essence of this communication gap is that this person is not passionate about his job, so running away from poverty. This person too, they meet at a state of conflict. So the police wants to extort. There is this broad view in society that when the police is checking your papers, they are looking for a fault. When they don't see a fault, they generate a fault. Where is the tax paper? Sometimes it goes to a point where if you are not looking, if you are not, being watchful, they remove a particular paper and demand that paper.
As alleged, because we will not
we're not taking a position on that.
Please, we should not do that.
Then also, the police will be doing, maybe carrying out a genuine investigation in a particular area. But also because of this image, society do not want to cooperate with them and give them information. So this thing is a two-sided stuff. We have to look at how the police will now build their already damaged image. We have to look at how the police will build confidence in the people. We have to build a system where the police looks for ways of resolving conflict between its men and the society. And how do they do that? The police have not started organizing town hall meetings. They are supposed to, just like politicians. Call the stakeholders in these communities. Let's hold a meeting with the PCROC, the stakeholders, community leaders. Let's hold a meeting. Let's talk about the security. Security is everybody's business. We are not going into the acrobatic form of manual security information session now. We are in a digital world. We have to use technology. We have to use intelligence. We have to call people. We have to relate with people. If you see the people as your enemy that you just want to arrest everybody and obtain statements from them, you know, there is something that even happened within the ranks of the security agents, for instance. When the police is obtaining statements, the next thing they always do is to put you behind counter. It's not supposed to be like that. No law, no. The police act did not even state anywhere that anybody giving, as far as you have given a statement, you should be detained. That's why a lot of people refuse to give statements, and people want to pursue their right in line with the administration of criminal justice at 2021. That my lawyer is not yet, I will not give statement. The police say that put it down like that. That your lawyer is not yet, you are not giving statement. But then,
anyway, I want us to come to see how we can really resolve all of that. I'll plead with you to hold on. Now, there's this insinuation because that the long military rule that characterize our history is also a reason why these security agents are not civil in their approach to citizens. Do you feel that's the case? Because why I ask that question, if we take a look at how they are in other developed climes, it's quite different. The relationship, the interaction seems to be different. Like you said, their information is willingly given to the security agencies, but here you hold it back, knowing that it's even detrimental to you than to them. Because if you allow criminality festers where you are most likely going to be the first casualty. Yeah. The citizens are always at the receiving end. And these persons are saddled with the responsibility of better protecting them. So let's look at it. Do you feel the long military rule that characterizes our history can be a major culprit in the attitude of not being civil by these security agencies?
No.
You do not buy that assertion?
I do not want to toll that there are multifaceted factors that are responsible for a lot of these distrust. We were talking about, willingly giving police an information.
Yes.
For instance, some persons have come out to say that I told police that this person is an armed robber. At the end of the police arrested this person. Then they see the investigators and discover that this person is really an armed robber. The person paid his way out of the police net. The same police that he gave information will tell the person that allegedly that it is that person that gave me the information that you are an armed robber. Then the armed robber comes back and comes back to face that person. Would you be able to willingly give out or dish out such information?
But we've seen situations where citizens still give out such information. The police go ahead and also act on that information and still deal with those criminals. Like even the case we had last week with the killing of Issa Dede, who is a notorious bandit in Abuja and has been fingered in most of the high-profile kidnapping in Abuja. The information was given to the police, and the police did the needful and got him neutralized. So should we also look at, because what I'm asking
those are isolated cases. You see,
Is it not also isolated to get such from the police when you say
it's like a general thing now,
and a feeling for most persons?
The instance you just gave now is an instance that happened not in Ughelli but in the Federal Capital Territory. Abuja. Anything that happens,
so you are talking is quite different here.
Once it concerns the upper class, they want to take drastic decision. They want to execute the genuity of their mandate. They give marching orders.
Okay.
But when it concerns the average citizens, nobody comes to their aid.
Okay.
That's why we are having issues. The economic dichotomy of the society of being stratified into the upper and the lower class affects the mandate of. That's why Karma said that the states, the institutions of the state were created to protect a particular class of people in the society called the bourgeois. That the state is an establishment of the bourgeois, of a particular class of people, and the institutions protect that class of people. That is why something is happening in Abuja. They are giving a marching order that this thing should be investigated and the couple should be brought to because they are kidnapping the particular class. Okay. When it happens in the squalors of Ajegule, once it happens in the interior of a Cubo, you don't see people going about it.
Okay, now let's remain with it, because I want us to really build up what seems to be that mistrust before we find a way of ending it, or a mechanism in actually addressing the conflict. And many will say, if you're not indulging crime, there's little or no chance for the police. Police cannot stop me and charge me for anything, especially when I'm not indulging any. But would you? Yes. Yeah. So no, I have. No, I have met them on several occasions, and many of them cannot hold me for what. I know my rights, and I know where I stand. But let's leave that.
You're not talking about knowing your right when it comes to the very crude officers.
No. And most certainly, I've met most of them, and I've put them in their place, so it doesn't happen. Now, but let's come to the issue of also citizens not doing the right thing. We've seen many cases. Yes, before you even investigate some of the cases of some of these young men that feel they are being molested. Funny enough, I had one most recently to handle. And at the end, we knew he took something. And that was the genesis of it, and how the police could also do what they did. But now let's look at it also. Do you feel some citizens also, rather than pulling the whole bunk on the table of the police, who are not interested to be upright in their attitude? Do you feel that is also a reason where these people also use that as a means to do what they want to do? And I'm talking about those overzealous law enforcement agents. So let's look at it, because in more civilized crime, you seem to be on the right path, and when they know you're on the right path, they are careful in how they want to handle you. So let's look at that. Why is it that some citizens will not do what's right, irrespective of knowing that this is totally against the law? So let's look at that part.
Yes, the word right sometimes can be viewed as a relative concept. What is right to some persons?
Well, we're talking about what, as it concerns the law and our constitution.
We have a whole lot of bad police, in as much as we have good police officers.
Okay.
We have a lot of bad police. And the police is a reflection of the society, because they were also from the society
itself.
So we cannot holistically put all the blames on the police, because it's a part of the society. So citizens not doing what is right, like I said, the factor of hunger and poverty has pursued some persons from society joining the police. It does not stop them from the attitude of not doing the right thing. Now, when they come into the police, they want to use the uniform of the police to perpetuate the true nature of who they were
before they joined.
That is why you have seen a lot of people, the police now is taking a lot of drastic image in dismissing a lot of their officers found wanting in one crime or the other. They have started dishing out several disciplinary measures and punishments on officers that are involved in on awesome activities and so on. So the police is trying their best. I can tell you that, from the top, from the highest hierarchy, to really instill this strong confidence and discipline they are meant. For instance, in December, I personally and my team and I, we fought for the case in Rivers State. You remember that case that has to do about extortion. 90 million naira extortion by men of the Rivers State Police Command. The Commissioner of Police in Rivers State was redeployed from that state, even when the investigation was not directly fingered to him. But for lack of supervision, for you not being able to supervise your men to the tune of them extorting about 90 million naira from a citizen, the Commissioner of Police was redeployed. The Deputy Commissioner of Police was redeployed. The Assistant Commissioner of Police, ACCID, was redeployed, and all the men involved in it, they were detained, they were punished, on a very big scale for involving in that. But at the end of the day, somebody blew the whistle. So we also urge citizens to come out and report these behaviors of police, the bad acts in the police that want to spoil or damage the image of the police. So we cannot tackle it holistically from different angles. We have bad police, we have bad citizens. We have very good police officers, and we also have good citizens. So we cannot come together to a point where we can work collectively to ameliorate the society from these various crimes that is now bedeviling the society.
I'll play with you to hold on. We need to go on a break now and see how we can pay some commercials. And when we come back, we'll continue our discussion as we try to see how we can bring about conflict resolution, and especially as it concerns security agencies and the citizens that are saddled with the responsibility of protecting. Let's go on a break.